Well, what is the word for 2025 from the Spirit, from the Lord, from what is the new vibration for 2025? Well, we have the man, Dr. Michael Mosley. He is a prophet, has prophesied to thousands all over the world, been in ministry for 30 plus years. He's an author, he is a talk show host on the Law of Attraction Radio Network. He used to work in a radio. I don't know if he was a DJ and on a radio station. He has a beautiful wife and family, and he really is very concise and specific, when he really gets a word from God. So we are grateful to have him on the Think, Believe, and Manifest talk shows. I want everybody to open up your heart, open up your spirit. So, Dr. Michael Mosley, welcome back to the Think, Believe, and Manifest talk show.
Oh, I am so happy to be back. And I thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. It is a great joy for me to be here with the legendary Constance Arnold, my friend. And I really am grateful to say that. I
Thank you. Me
really
too.
appreciate that. I really do. And I know I jumped right into something, but I really do appreciate those of you that have a friend. I
Hmm.
really want to encourage you. Take a moment to thank God for your friend. And I really do mean a friend that you can say anything to,
Hmm.
can confide in, and really just talk with. You don't have to be put on any airs. You can just really tell them, hey, the real truth is that I can't spell, and they can, well, I got you covered. I tell
Hmm.
you, really thank God for your friend. So I don't know who that's for, but that's for me. Really, thank God for those people that you consider your friend. So I thank you, Constance, for being my friend.
Well, vice versa, you know, we're always giving, serving, and I feel very free to go to Dr. Mosley and say, this is how I'm feeling today. What are your thoughts on this? And vice versa. We brainstorm about business ideas and strategy. And the Bible says two are better than one. So that's a great word that you gave to people. So here we are in 2025, Dr. Mosley, and
Yes.
people are feeling some kind of way. It is early in January, and people are saying, what do I do next? This didn't happen, or this did happen. What are my goals? What are my intentions? But we know, I always like to say, God has already been to all of your tomorrows.
Oh, I love that.
Hmm. And so, what do you feel like the Spirit is saying to you, to us, to the world? A lot is happening.
It is a lot is happening, and it's not going to. I don't want to say it's getting ready to get worse, but I will say this: it's going to get more intense, and that could be very, very good. It really could be very, very good. It's how we look at it. Number one, let's do a little bit of neurology
Okay.
or numerology, I'm sorry, is 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. And
Hmm.
that is going to make this a 9 year. Now, 9 brings about closure, it brings about completion. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we start over. 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 12,
Hmm.
13, 14. We go to 19, then we start over again. 20, 21. So it's a time of closure. Now, what the Lord spoke to me, I did some of the research and looked at what some of the other people are saying, other spiritual people that are saying, and hey, it's closure. It's time to let go of some things, which is true. It is time to bring some chapters to an end, let go of some things. But what God told me was this is going to be a year of rapid change,
Wow.
quick change. Because soon as you let things go, change immediately comes in. It's not going to be the time to say,
Mm.
well, we're going to wait till next year because next year we're going to start all over. No, no, no. You start over immediately when the change happens. For instance, when a woman gives a birth at practically at 9 months, when the water break and the baby comes, at that very moment, when that baby comes to life, her life changes forever. At that very moment, the baby is here. The baby is born, 9 months, boom, change immediately comes in. When the death of a loved one takes place, life is completed, but our lives are changed drastically, immediately. It doesn't take very long. It's quick, even though we sometimes may have expected that death. We're just knowing that it's going to occur, but when it does happen, the change is immediate. And you got to get used to where they're no longer here in the body, or they're no longer here in person. You know, we got to get rid of their clothes, or whatever the case may be. So, Constance, this is going to be a year of rapid and swift changes.
You know, that is so good. And like you said, that can be very positive. You know, let's just say a listener has been struggling in their business and they get one business idea that could drastically change their lives from struggling to multimillionaire. Quick change.
Yes.
Or somebody who had been trying to lose weight and they found this one program, an idea of the pathway that works for them. Quick change.
Now, the key with that is we must be open to the change. Sometimes that's the challenge, because sometimes we get stuck and we're so comfortable with where we are, or we want the change the way we want it. We want it a certain way. But, there's going to be some change, even with, it's unfortunate what's going on in Los Angeles. It is certainly unfortunate.
Very, very.
I cannot imagine even being there, but that is an example of a quick, massive change. And believe it or not, now as drastic as that is, believe it or not, when this is all over, there's going to be a great change of jobs, because some people are out of work right now because buildings have burned down. People are going to be moving because the catastrophe of they can't stay there because of the mental anguish of seeing their homes. I just can't stay here anymore. I want to go to Arizona. I'm gonna go to Illinois. And I've even heard talk of that nature. And so there are going to be some people, they're going to have to hire somebody to clear out the rubbish, to rebuild, to actually do some things. So it's going to be quick change. Somebody right now has to decide, what are we going to do? We don't know what to do. So for some, it's a horrible decision to make. And then it's for others, it's what they've been praying for a job, an opportunity to start over again. So again, it's unfortunate. But wherever there's a negative, there's going to be a positive somewhere. We just got to be open for the change.
And so you mentioned earlier to let go and let God. So do people need to be flowing more and not as rigid? Because before we got on this call, I said to you, wow, I just looked on my phone and TikTok got banned in the US. Now, I don't know if that's going to stick or not. That's a change for a lot of people because there are 7 million small businesses on TikTok. So when change happens quickly and rapidly, what do listeners do? Do we just lean into God and say, okay, I'm flowing with the Spirit? What would that look like?
What it looks like is it is a visualization. And in order to visualize, you got to open your mind. You're going to have to open your mind. And that's when we say, even we make these statements, lean into God or trust God. I try to make a little bit more sense of that, because what does that mean? How do I trust
what does that mean?
How do I rely on God? Put it all in his hands, give it to the Lord. We say these things in church. I'm like, well, how do I do that? Well, let me make sense of that. Number one is visualize how you want your outcome to be.
Yeah, that's good.
Visualize how you want, because what you visualize, that really is your prayer request. It's not your verbal statement. I want to pay my bills next month. No, visualizing your bills being paid, that becomes your prayer request. So you visualize, this is what I desire. I am showing God, this is what I want. The Bible says, man, look at the outward appearance. We got vision. Man looks appearance, two words, are dealing with visual. Man look at the outward appearance, but God looks again, vision, at the heart. Heart or mind, subconscious, is where we show pictures. So God is looking at what you're showing him. That really is your prayer request. So you
Mm,
focus on what your vision is. Lean more into your vision. Now, I'm leaning more into my bills being paid. Now, the opportunity may come in different ways. See, that's where, let's say, for instance, I want $500. Now, I'm focusing on the $500. That's what I'm doing. I'm visualizing myself getting $500. Where it's coming from, that's where some of us, we get hung up on. That's not what we're supposed to do. Don't focus on the where it's coming from. That's where God's business is. We just
yeah.
focus on enjoying $500, and before you know it, here come a phone call about $500, or an opportunity to earn five, or
Hmm.
somebody, maybe you won a $500 lottery or something. So the opportunities will come for you to get it. You just focus on what your goal may be.
You know, I love this, and Dr. Mosley does not know this, but before this show for the past hour, I was listening to a teaching that I've heard before so many times on your imagination. And the guy was
Wow.
saying that when you are in your imagination, imagination is really God at work. When you're in your imagination, never God has said that your imagination is God. And this guy was saying when you're in your imagination, you're face to face with God. And you're
Yeah.
actually, like Dr. Mosley saying, oh, 2025 is my best year ever. And you begin to see that, feel that, and your subconscious is most impacted, shifted, and changed by pictures and emotions. That this is
Yes.
what I have now.
Yes, I totally agree. You know, one thing I sense for this year of 2025 is that God is doing what, well, let me say it this way. We have been stuck,
Mm,
and God is trying to push us past stagnation. Our minds have been stuck, and we have been limited to a certain paradigm, or we have been limited
mm.
to a certain way of doing things, or this is the way you got to do it. And for a long time, now some people, be careful if your kids are listening, we've been taught you got to go to school. You got to go to a 4-year program. You got to go to another 4-year program. Then you got to know if you really want to make money, then you got to get a PhD. And if you really want to make money, you got to do this, this, this. We have had those, and that it was true. We had to follow that pathway. But lately, in the past, I would say 15 years, if not more,
Mhm.
we have seen more people become financially blessed, or let's just say what it is. They started getting the money without formal education. They've had the business idea. They've had a product that people wanted to buy, and it's been money that's been circulating. I even told you, Constance, we was having a conversation when I realized that somebody could take them drones, and how there are certain agencies that are looking for people that know how to operate the drones, and then they pay them six figures just because they know how to operate the drones. I'm like, I'm in the wrong business. So what we got to do is realize, we've been stuck. We have been limited. There is so many opportunities. And God, I don't want to sound churchy, but I will say this. I believe God, Constance, is trying to push us from a place of being stuck and limited. No longer must we limit our kids or ourselves. Well, I got to go here. I got to do this. Well, that's what, according to maybe life 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 50 years ago,
Mhm.
100 years ago. Today, you just mentioned TikTok. I didn't realize this. I saw a video. One gentleman said, because of his social media platform, not his degree, not his certification, but because of his platform, he paid off his home. He paid off his car because of his social media platform. That says something right there.
Yeah. And you know, that is so good because I also have been thinking that this year we need to really take the limits off of God, but off of ourselves, off of our thinking, off of the way we've always done things. Like you said, Dr. Mosley, being in that same paradigm. And I was sharing with somebody, you know, God wants us to be outside of the box. God don't have no box. God is unlimited, and we're unlimited. We're one with God. We are an unlimited spiritual being with unlimited creative ability. And
Yes.
so what you said is so powerful about shifting paradigms and even shifting the way we've always done stuff, shifting the way money has come to us, because God wants us to be unlimited with all of that.
I want to encourage your listeners to
Mm-hmm.
even move things around in your home
Ooh, that's good.
and see how you feel. Move the TV in a different area. Now, because at one point years ago, it had to go in a certain area because that's where
Mm-hmm.
the plug was. But now you can move them anywhere. You know, who has cable boxes now? You know, so right now you can move a whole lot. But I encourage you, move the sofa, move
Mm.
whatever. I remember the day we had them big, heavy stereos that you had to sit it down in one area.
Right.
But move the bed around just for maybe, and you can move it back if you desire, but give it a few days or maybe a week. See how you feel. It's going to
Mm.
throw you off a little bit, but you also may feel a breath of fresh air. It's
Yeah.
just something different. God this year is trying to get us unstuck. I love that you said, take the limits off of God, because
Yeah.
we're the one that put him there. He is trying to do something new. Church will never be the same again,
Never.
although people are trying to get it to be the same. Um, and we'll tell people, you just being rebellious. No, they're being progressive. No one is trying to be rebellious. We're being progressive. Everybody wants something new right now. Television is not going back to where it
Mm-mm.
was. Nothing. Even with the TikTok ban, something is going to come about. No, there will be, because we're not going back. Something else is going to come forth, and don't fool yourself. Somebody saw for I guess what am I trying to say? They already knew that this was going to come.
Right.
They already got something in the background. They already ready. Now let me ask our listeners something. Are you ready for change?
Mm.
See, because that will be massive change this year. Are you ready for change? Are you ready? Some I feel a prophetic gifting creeping up
Okay.
on. But are you ready for change? And I want to
Mm.
encourage some people, start saving up some money so that you can be ready for change. Well, how much
Mm.
I need to save, it doesn't matter. Just start saving. Because, and not that you got to save a lot, because we're not saving for a rainy day. We're saving for a fun day. Because you
Mm.
may hear this home, nobody wants it, but they just ready to let it go cheap because they just ready to close it out, get it off the books. You may buy it for a rental property. It's a quick, rapid change. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Some things are going to happen quick, rapidly. You got to be prepared to go in, get what you can right now. Don't wait. Start moving about with change. Some people say, you know what? When I got divorced, I got my hair done. I changed my dress. I changed my style of hair. Well, somebody said it. If you would have done that while you were married, you probably wouldn't have gotten divorced. You probably, if you would have been open for the change, because some are like, you
Mm-hmm.
sure? Because I've heard that before. After they got married, they saw the person again. You sure look good. You fine. Yes, because you know what? Somewhere you allowed either an individual or someone to block your change. Don't
Mm.
do that anymore. This is your year. If you want to wear pink, wear pink. If you want to cut your hair, cut your hair. This is a time for rapid change. This is a time to make a statement. This is a time not to be so concerned about what other people's opinion may be. Can I share one more thing to you?
Mm-hmm.
For somebody, this is a time that you're going to practice saying no.
Mm.
You're going to practice saying no. Can you do this for me? No.
No.
I want you to do this. No. Well, what you should be doing is no. I am going to bring about a change for myself. I got to change for me. This is what I want to do. And if it doesn't work out, fine, so be it. God is always my backup. Now I'm going to go preach it on you right now.
Okay.
The Bible says, surely goodness and mercy shall
Mhm.
follow me all the days of my life, even throughout 2025. So I have no reason to worry. I have no reason to be upset. I'm ready for the rapid change, and allow yourself to be open with that change. Our children are different today than they were years ago. Time is changed. People are, everybody is a change. We got to be open. No longer must we be limited. The God that we serve
Mm.
is unlimited. And in fact, the Bible even says his ways are past finding out. We cannot even keep up with him. But we trying to, and the way we're trying to do that is by limiting him. Well, he did this 30 years ago. And you're right, that was 30 years ago. He's changed. He's doing something different right now. Some things that we're not comfortable with. We're not. And how many of us do some things that we're not comfortable with? We're not comfortable. But it's time to get comfortable with it. It's time to get ready to do a change. I'm sorry, am I taking too much time?
No, yeah, hey, you're my guest, and you know, Dr. Mosley. So for listeners, is it that people are, it's the uncertainty? Is it the fear of the unknown? If is it rigidity? And are we gonna have to make a decision, a choice? Our choice is our superpower to choose to explore and be open to what God, what spirit opportunities that are awaiting us.
You, bottom line, we're going to have to be open, open to
Mhm.
change. We cannot be limited. And many years ago, life was very limited. We were
Mhm.
scared. We were scared to cut on the microwave. We think something go come out and bite us. We was just scared. Every little thing that brings about a change, we're nervous.
Mhm.
We're scared when the cable came on, and we was nervous when you start being able to see TV on the computer, and just little bitty things. We get nervous, but the God that we serve, the life that we live, it's about change. And I'm telling you, everybody, you got to be open and stop being fearful. We cannot be afraid. We got to go in. What do they say? Take the bull by the horns and
Mhm.
let's do this. So many people are missing out on money, opportunity, because they are too slow in flowing with the change. We got to be open and we got to move quickly. We got to do this. We can no longer be stuck anymore. Our children are being defeated because we're causing them to be slow. It's time to move forward. It's time to create opportunities for them. You know what, Constance? Some children have ADHD, they have
Mhm.
learning disabilities, and we're still trying to minimize them. Well, you ought to know better. You ought to know how to do this. No, 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 no. Thank God that we have had better education, and we realize now it's not that our children are bad. They learn differently. And we need somebody to take the time to say, hey, let's train them a different way, or let's get a little bit more insight so they can be productive. We are in a new society now where we got to make it work. I'm excited about it,
Well,
Constance.
well, well, you know, in the US, for all of my US listeners, you know that we're getting a new president. And
Yes,
so that's a change. And so people are
yes.
having to lean into that. And so when people ask me about that, I'm like, well, your God is on the inside, not on the outside. What would you say to people who are concerned about the political change? Once again, that's going to be a rapid change for many people.
I do feel that that God is in control.
Absolutely.
And again, I have to be open to the change. I have to be open open, and some things we're not comfortable with. We don't know what tomorrow's going to hold. What
Mm-hmm.
they go do, what they go do. You know what? I understand. It's normal to kind of feel that way, but then, as far as the divine is concerned, that's where our trust lie. Everything is going to be fine. I just
Absolutely.
believe it's going to be fine. I really trust in the divine. This is where I guess we separate the men from the boys. Are you going to really believe it? Then let's hold on to our visualization of the outcome. Everything is going to be fine. I don't know how it's going to be fine. I just know that it is.
That's powerful. What else do you sense is happening in 2025?
You know, there's going to be an opportunity for massive growth.
Mm.
Now, that growth is going to take place financially, and for some reason, I want to say emotionally. Now,
Mm.
emotionally will lead to, I guess, romantically, or if you want to say socially. But once you begin to know who you are emotionally, you're going to be able to understand and connect with people socially and romantically. One thing that I've been teaching lately is about how we must introduce ourselves
Mm.
because we're no longer the same person. Nobody is the same person after all that our listeners have gone through in 2024. You are not the same person.
Not the same.
You are not, and we may look the same, but then some of us don't even look the same. Some of us. Now I don't have hair, as you all can probably see, but some of you have a different wig, different attire, different color. Some of you, your attitudes have changed. Some have toughened up. Some people have really learned how to cuss. Some people have even softened. You know what? I remember being a young minister, and sometimes I would be a little tough. You don't need to do this and da da da. That was before I had kids. That was before I got married. And we were tough. But now that I've got kids, and now I got grown kids, and now life has a way of teaching you some things. And I even told someone, I did a reel one time. I said some things you don't have enough experience to even address.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So now you have some experience. You ain't the same. You're not. You used to talk against certain people that did X, Y, and Z. Now, yeah, you got some experience. You know what, Constance? I used to, before I had kids, I would go out to eat and be at a table, and a few tables over, there'd be a family, and the kid would be just crying, and I'm like, why the parent ain't said nothing to that child? And I'm just sitting there eating, and they just crying, mom, mom, and I'm like, I know they hear that child crying. They just ain't saying nothing to that child. But now, after you have kids, you realize that you really don't hear that baby crying. You have drowned it. You've become so immune or nullified to it. It's like, oh, baby, I'm sorry. What is it? But see,
Hmm.
you have changed. Things that bothered you before, they don't bother you anymore. Some places you used to go, I don't even care to go anymore. Some arguments I used to have, I don't even feel like it's worth my time anymore. I want to encourage somebody. You are growing massively this year, and it's really your emotions which connects to your character, who you are. You're a different person. Somebody, maybe your ex, used to know how to get to you. Back in the
Hmm.
hood, we would say your mama. You know, that used to be all its own now. But you know what? Now I done got hip to that. So like, okay, your mom be like, okay, Ann, yeah, she's gorgeous and she's pretty. What?
Hmm.
You know? And then some in the hood, they really tell your mom, okay, what about her? Okay, whatever. Yours too. And so
Hmm.
this a lot of you, I want everybody to realize that you're not the same person. And because of that, you have changed, which means you have grown. Things in your life have become stronger. You have become a stronger person. Appreciate the change. Appreciate who you are. Appreciate that. No, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I don't need certain things to make me a man.
Yeah.
I don't need certain things to make me a woman. I am a man because of the way I think, I am a woman because of the way I think. I always say, why did God choose Mary to carry Jesus? I don't know how pretty she was. I don't know. But one thing I do know, I do believe he chose her because of the way she thought. And I tell everybody, it's your thinking that separates you from the crowd.
That's very powerful. When you talked about introducing yourself, reintroduce yourself, is that what you
Yes.
said? In 2025, I had listeners, I did a show a couple of weeks ago, and it was to write down 25 things that you manifested in 2025, or changes or shifts, no
Mm.
matter how small they might be. It might be I'm drinking an extra glass of water. But people were amazed and astonished once they began to write it down, because listeners, some of you have been writing into me, they forgot. I said, take your phone out and look at your pictures. What were you doing in February, March, July, August? And that will give you a snapshot of things that you did and how you shifted and changed. And the whole purpose of that exercise, Dr. Mosley, was exactly what you said, for people to remember, to acknowledge, to accept, and to take a new look at the new view of who they are walking into 2025. And then I said, now write down 25 to 50 things that you desire with that new identity of who you are. Like you said, so it's not the changing of the calendar that makes things happen for you. It's the changing of your identity. So like you said, we're coming into 2025 with that new identity of all the stuff that happened for us, in us, through us. So whatever we desire in 2025, we're coming in with that mindset.
And that is true. We are coming in with a greater mindset. And I want to encourage everyone. One is coming to me right now, is ask God to
Mm,
help reduce or eliminate, really just help eliminate fear.
that's good.
Help me to eliminate fear. Because again, after all that I went through in 2024, 2023, and so forth, I shouldn't be as afraid in 2025.
Hmm.
I should, and I'm gonna sound real ghetto, I should have sense enough to know
Hmm.
that if he brought me through all of these things prior, and some of us, all of us, can name some horrific things we've gone through: divorce, cancer, diabetes, whatever you want. A lot of us have some great testimonies. Then we ought to have sense enough to know, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I really don't have no business to fear evil. I should know that the Lord really is with me. His rod and staff, they comfort me. I'm not trying to turn this into religious gathering, but I want us to really remember. I feel that the divine is saying, pray to eliminate fear, because with the rapid change, you got to be ready to go in. Go in. You cannot be afraid. Ooh, should I? Should I really? Oh, that look. And it's just another thing in church. We say, ooh, that look kind of scary. That look demonic.
Hmm.
That look kind of. Ooh, that look. Why are we afraid? If it is demonic, we still have the greater power within us. Go on in. If, according to my upbringing, the devil ain't got no problem coming in to what it look holy. He don't
Hmm.
have no problem coming into something that looks really clean. But we got a problem going into that area where he may be. So we are to be very focused. Say, you know what? I no longer want to be afraid of who I
Hmm.
am, who I am becoming. And one thing I ask my listeners to do is, I want you to think about last year. What did you learn about God? What did you learn about people? And what
Hmm.
did you learn even about yourself? What were some things that you realized you did not need anymore?
It's good.
What are some things you realized that, you know what, I need to listen more? I'm not perfect. I had one client told me, you know what, I have an issue in allowing people to help me, because I thought if they help me, I feel I'm not as competent. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I had one friend of mine said, you know what, I did learn that. I thought people were always in it for themselves and nobody was there to help me. But said one thing I learned about people, that there are really some good people around me that really do want to help me. Everybody around me is not bad. All men are not dogs, and all women are not just out to get their hair and nails done.
Mm-hmm.
There are some good people, but the way we've been programmed, you got to be watchful because everybody's out for themselves. No, that's not true.
Mm-mm.
So some things we had to learn. Maybe you learned about your neighbor, that they are some nice people. They'll help you. They'll help move the tree that the storm knocked down. Some things happen in our lives for us to learn some things. The storm came to help us to learn, help your neighbor. I know they're Democrat, but help them anyway. They're Republican. Maybe they voted for the candidate that you didn't want to, but that's all right. Help them anyway. And when it all boils down to it, we are helpers one to another. So there are some things that we did learn, and we got to pray that prayer. God, remove the fear, because in 2025, I'm prophesying now. Somebody,
Okay.
you're gonna make this money.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna make it, but you got to remove fear. You're going to fall in love again, but you got to remove the fear. Well, what if he's a dog? Or what if she's a tramp? Or no, remove the what ifs, and let's open our hearts and say, you know what? God's got me covered. I am opening my heart. I'm ready to experience. Stop being timid because God is with me. So therefore, I believe that. Let me go on and shake hands. Let me introduce myself. Hi, I'm Michael Mosley. What is your name? Let me tell you, I am a talk show podcaster. I'm this, I'm that. Let me really and really open myself. Stop being afraid. Ooh, did that make sense?
Absolutely. So, Dr. Mosley, as we move into this rapid change, should people's mindset or vibration or thinking be, I'm thinking the people in California, I don't see it, I don't feel it. I'm going through this rapid change, but I believe everything is working out for my highest good. How, how can
Yes,
people, what should they be thinking when this rapid change comes?
really appreciation. Now,
Mm,
let's start off in different steps. Appreciation is the first step.
okay.
Right now, because let's say, for instance, those that are in California, right now, they cannot go as far as I don't know where things are going because right now I just lost my memories. I lost my home. I don't know where my kids and I are going to sleep. I don't know about
Hmm.
tomorrow. So for those persons, and maybe you're in a situation like that, somebody that's listening, use appreciation.
Mm,
I appreciate life.
mm.
I appreciate my kids are okay. We're breathing. Just start there. I
That's good.
appreciate and just get that energy. I'm glad that I am appreciating that, we lost a lot, but I can at least hug my baby. I can hug my husband. I'm appreciating that I can walk. I'm appreciating that I didn't have to step over a body. I'm
Hmm.
appreciating. If you start that, it will grow. The energy will grow. And then it can grow into a visualizing life again. Hugging that baby now, putting them in a new bed, or hugging them walking into a new home. But it got to start somewhere. Just start with appreciation. Somebody going through a divorce. Well, you know what? I got the chance. I can appreciate, breathing. I can now wear my hair the way I want to. I don't have to get up and do X, Y, and Z. And I can
Hmm.
buy my own food. I can appreciate that I'm not somebody else's punching bag anymore. I can appreciate. And it starts to dream now. Once you appreciate, you can start dreaming again. And
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
good.
God wants somebody to do. He needs you to dream, but you can't dream yet until you begin to appreciate where you are, because some people are not comfortable. You know how you go into bed, you're not comfortable to even start dreaming. You're too anxious about, okay, is somebody go come in and bite me, somebody go yank me out this bed, or somebody go do something. First, divine wants you to get comfortable in the bed and just cover up. Nobody's going to harm you. He wants you to feel safe. Appreciate the
Hmm.
covers. Appreciate the warmth or the coolness. Appreciate that you can just lay your head down on the pillow and breathe.
That's good. I heard this neuroscientist say, and she studies the brain. She said that if you would just do something as small as, God, I thank you when you wake up in the morning, thank you for my pillow, thank you for my bed, thank you for my water, think I got into a bathroom. She says that if you do that, because they have people hooked up to computers and everything. She said
Yes.
gratitude and appreciation is so powerful, even on what that level of what we might think might be small. Thank you for my pillow. And she
Yes.
said the brain waves begin to shift and change, when they had them hooked up on the computer in the people's mind,
Yes.
and that their immune system would increase by 50% over the 3-day period with just a 10-minute gratitude or appreciation rant or focus or imagination. So what you're saying is powerful for listeners. What do you have? What did you learn? How did you grow? What is possible for you in 2025?
Yes. It really it works. One thing that I had to really help me, I may have said this
Mm-hmm.
on one of your shows before, is that word assignment. That been a key
Mm,
word for me for the past 2 3 years, because I was going through a very challenging time.
mm-hmm.
And one lady came to me and she said, Dr. Mosley, because of who you are and what you do, she said, the Lord told me to tell you that certain things in your life, really everything in your life, is an assignment.
Mm,
Some things is not longevity the way we want it to be.
mm,
Some things are just an assignment. And you have fulfilled because it was a job I really, really wanted it. And I didn't get it. I was there as working as an intern and I
mm-hmm.
really wanted it. Oh, I really, really wanted it. Um, she said, but it's nothing against you. It's just your assignment was over. And I got rave reviews and all of this. I'm like, well, why? I really like this. But it was for you to stop by and learn, deposit some things, and now you have another assignment. And she was right. She really was. As much as I didn't want to admit it, it was an assignment. And that taught me how to deal with my life now. Some things are
Mm,
just an assignment. I'm assigned right here for right now. Some things are just an assignment, and I have to go through some lessons in my assignment and just realize I'm passing the assignment if I know how to go through it. And we have to go through it with appreciation. That's a lesson I had to learn. Appreciate the assignment. God thought enough of you to
mm,
go through this assignment. And let me share this for somebody that's listening right now. Please know it's not that you married the wrong person.
mm,
It's not that you took the wrong job. It's not that you did something wrong or you sinned. It's just that this was part of your assignment. You learned something and you also are part of teaching others something. So you are part of an assignment. So I want to congratulate you for being a part of God's assignment.
and really it's who we're becoming.
Yes.
It's who we're becoming, how we're changing, how we're expanding our consciousness, how we're shifting. And so looking back, like you said, in reintroducing yourself, looking back on 2024 until you really
Yes.
look at it and examine it
Yes.
and say, wow, look,
Yes.
oh, wow, I forgot about that. Wow, wow, I forgot how strong I was in that situation. Wow, I realize now that doesn't bother me. I don't need that. To me, that's a powerful place of who you are becoming. And
And it is true.
go
Yes.
ahead, Dr. Mosley.
It
Mm-hmm.
is really, really true. And you'll see how far advanced you have become.
Mm-hmm.
And I encourage everyone, celebrate your advancement, your achievement,
Mm-hmm.
how far God has brought you, how you have gone through so many challenges. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes we didn't even realize how
Mm-hmm.
difficult it was. We really didn't realize it, but you made it. Again, in 2025, we had to introduce ourselves, and because you're not the same, we're not the same person. Some things
Mm-hmm.
don't bother us anymore. Some things, we had to learn how to get over some things, how to let some stuff roll off our backs. We had to learn how to really accept certain challenges in life and to really move forward. I want to congratulate a lot of the listeners that are listening, and it's because, and I really feel this, Constance, it's because of your dedication,
Thank
your
you.
loyalty in helping us to think, believe, and manifest. No matter where we are in life, no matter how things may get kind of chaotic, you have trained us to think, to believe, to manifest. The power is within us. Now, there are going to be some quick, rapid changes, but you have taught us if we can just think,
Yeah.
believe, we can manifest.
Wow, that's powerful. That is so good. Thank you. And this, I can't believe it, but this is year 17 for me. I can't even comprehend that when I say that, but every week when I come on, I'm giving y'all my very best, bringing you the best, sharing with you the best so that you can shift, change, and just live this abundant life. A lot of Sundays, I'm talking to myself. I'm really teaching myself and just letting y'all in on the conversation. So in closing, Dr. Mosley, anything else you want to say? I want to
It's,
say to listeners, y'all need to listen to this over and over and over again and let the Spirit speak to you. Just sit in stillness and listen to what Dr. Mosley is saying prophetically and see how that aligns with you.
one thing and a key factor for me is God doesn't want us to be stuck anymore because we have been.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We have been stuck. We have been rigid. We have been limited because of the way things have been brought to us. You got to go through A, B, and C to get to, D, E, and F. And God is saying no more.
Mm-hmm.
He's looking for somebody to be daring, to be open, to try different things. And I believe that that's you. That's us. Don't limit yourself. Please, by all means, it's time to move forward. God cannot ever be placed in a box. So right now, 2025, he's ready for rapid changes. He is not required to answer to us. We are required to answer to him. And so whichever way he desires to go, let's be open and be willing to go with the change, the rapid change. That's great success that is meant for all of us. We are not ever to be limited. So let's be ready for the open and rapid and quick change that is ready to benefit all of us. I am so excited. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here, Constance. Thank you again
Well,
for this
thank you.
treasured
Thank
joy.
you. So you guys need to go and listen to Dr. Mosley on the network. He's going to be releasing some new stuff, is my
Yes,
understanding,
yes,
right?
yes, yes.
In
I'm very excited.
2025. And so y'all need to go over there and listen to him. Go over there and get a prophetic word from him and purchase his books and everything. Anything you want to say about your products, Dr. Mosley, in a minute or so?
Oh, go and get the book. Having fun is a sign of having faith because in 2025, you deserve to have some fun. You now, because Valentine is coming up. Valentine means fun, right? So after all you've been through, you deserve to go have some fun. So go to the website or go to your favorite bookstore and get a copy of the book. Having fun is a sign of having faith.
What's your website?
drmichaelmosley.com. drmichaelmosley.com.
Thank you, Dr. Mosley. Everybody, I want you to listen to this over and over again. Share on your own social media platforms so everybody can hear this powerful message. And 2025 is your best year ever. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you, Dr. Mosley.
Blessings.